Hey, good morning, Facebook. Happy Tuesday. As you can see, my solar power is working. The sun is shining here in Michigan. Unfortunately, we're in the middle of something that's called a polar vortex, so it's extremely cold here. Like they're talking negative 40 degrees here with the wind chill. Our wind chill is crazy cold. So, yeah, I hope that if you are here in Michigan, you are staying nice and warm inside. Good morning, Bobby. Hope that you are doing well. The thing that we're going to talk about today is giving up is not an option. And when somebody suffers with mental illness of any sort, depression, anxiety, anything you can possibly think of, we tend to want to give up very quickly because we tend to see the negative side of things quite often. We have a hard time seeing the positive and the things that could bring us success. So we do. We tend to kind of, what's the word I want? We tend to, I can't think of the word, when we screw up our own selves. I can't think of the word that I want right there, which is really weird because words are my life. But what I want you to think about is when you first rode your bike. My grandson Mitchell is here, my bug. So if you hear little footsteps behind me, that's who it is, my little bug. Snow day here, so he gets to spend a day with Grandma. But think back to when you first started to ride your bike. And I can guarantee you that most of you will have a hard time thinking about the failures that you had when you were beginning to ride. You know, you might think about falling off and scraping your knee or whatnot. But no matter what, you know, you fell off your bike, you went inside the house and you had your Brady Bunch moment with cookies and milk. And then you went right back out and you got on your bike and started to ride again. Or started to try to ride that bike. You just never gave up. Because riding that bike was something that you wanted to do. All kids do it. It's a rite of passage. So you were not going to give up learning how to ride on that bike. The same holds true for life in general. So you can live with your mental illness. There are so many people in the world that have some sort of mental illness, whether it be the depression or the anxiety or bipolar disorder, whatever it is. You can live with it. You just need to make a pact to never give up. You need to make a pact that when you fall off of your positivity and you head into the negative direction, you make a pact that you climb right up out of that ditch. Make the pact to never give up. Simple as that. Do not give up. We all have a purpose in life. I've said this before. I'm not even sure what my purpose is. So I will never settle for less than that purpose. I want to figure out what on earth my God has put me here for. And if it was to be a mother, I'm going to be the best mother. If it was to be a grandma, I'm going to be the best grandma, little grandma as I'm called. But I'm not going to settle for anything other than my purpose in life. There's a chance that I may never find that. There's a chance that you may never find what your purpose in life is. Maybe that's the purpose. But the thing is, you should never settle for less than your purpose of life. You know, what we need to do, the most important thing to do, is to put that one foot in front of the other. And you know, sometimes we're going to stumble, and that's going to suck. But if we just keep on stepping and never give up, we will get there. You will learn to live with your mental illness. You just can't give up. And I want you to think about this. With every single obstacle in life that you overcome, you will gain strength to take on the next obstacle. Because you're going to be able to look back and say, oh, hey, I did that. I was able to overcome that. I had a bad day 3 weeks ago. I can overcome that. I can overcome this one. So that cycle keeps you going. You know, you overcame your bad day 2 weeks ago. This week, you can say to yourself, I overcame that. I can overcome this. And you know, I talk about my dad a lot because he was my rock, okay? When he died, man, did a part of me die. I look at life today and I think to myself, I overcame that. Does it still hurt? Absolutely. Do I think about him daily? You bet. But I overcame the physical pain. If I can do that, if you can do that, you can make it through. You just have to keep trying. So you overcome that obstacle, and every step in life, every trial, every test is easier. Not easier as in it's not going to affect you, but it's easier because you can look back and say, I made it through that one. I can make it through this one. My dad died. 2 years later, my brother died. My brother's death wasn't any easier by any means. However, I knew that I could make it through. I knew that in time and going through the pain that I was going to be okay. So every small success, just like Tom is saying, every little success, every win should motivate us to the next step, and that is absolutely positively true. It also it increases your determination, and it teaches you that, you know, you can turn every adverse, every negative thing, you can turn into a success, no matter what it is, no matter where you're at, no matter how you're feeling, no matter what, that, you know, because every small step is a bigger step in life. A stepping stone, per se. A stepping stone of success. There is not a person on the face of this earth that hasn't had trials, tests. There's no one. Living with a mental illness, we tend to think we are the only ones that go through this. That's that when your brain is telling you things that just aren't true. I'm alone in the world. No, you're not. Somebody somewhere has been through the exact same thing. Believe it or not, everything. I mean, there may be little tweaks that are just for you to go through, but everybody everywhere has been through something similar to you. When you go through failures, but you keep going, when you go through hurt, but you keep going, it builds your confidence. So from now on, I don't want you to think of your failures or your bad days as a reason to give up. I want you to think of them as a stepping stone. Don't ever think that I didn't get out of bed today. I give up. I shouldn't get out of bed tomorrow. No. Because if you get out of bed tomorrow, you overcame. You built another stepping stone of success in your life. We are not a failure. We are not losers. Just because we have bad days. We're warriors. The only time that you're a failure, a loser, is if you give up. I had 4 kids. I didn't give up. They're the loves of my life. When things don't work out the way we want them to, those aren't failures. They're learning experiences. They're setbacks. You ever see those little Matchbox cars that you bring back like this and you let go and they spring forward? That's a setback. You're just winding up to spring forward. You're not a failure. You're not a failure because you have depression or anxiety or any mental illness. There are so many people in life that none of us would ever actually believe had as many failures as they did. Henry Ford, he claimed bankruptcy 4 or 5 times before he actually succeeded in his business. I don't like Fords, but hey, look at him. I guess I would take it, huh? Walt Disney got fired from a job because I think it was a newspaper. The editor didn't think that he had imagination or something to that effect. He went broke several times before he built Disneyland. Find me a child that doesn't want to go to Disneyland. Good morning. There's a story about Abraham Lincoln. When you ask a child who Abraham Lincoln is, or any adult, you're going to say a president, right? But I found a story here, and I want to kind of share this with you. It says that, let me find it here. At 22 years old, Abraham Lincoln failed in business. 1 year later, he ran for the legislature and lost. When he was 24, he experienced a second business failure. At 26, the woman he loved passed away, and he suffered a nervous breakdown the next year. Let me repeat that part. At 26, the woman he loved passed away, and he suffered a nervous breakdown the next year. When he was 29, he lost another political race. And at 34, he made an unsuccessful run for Congress. At 37, he did get elected to Congress, only to be defeated again 2 years later. At 46, he lost his bid for the Senate, and the next year, he failed in his attempt to become vice president. When he was 49, he was defeated for the Senate again. He had 4 sons, but one only lived to adulthood. But at 51 years of age, Abraham Lincoln was elected president of the United States and successfully led the country through one of the most difficult periods. Many people would have said to Abraham Lincoln, give up. And you're right, Zach. Michael Jordan is another person. Didn't even make high school basketball teams. Do we know those stories? Do we, when we look at the life of President Abraham Lincoln, do we think of all those failures? Do we list them all and then say, and then he was president? Yeah, big deal. Do we watch, or I guess we don't watch Michael Jordan play basketball anymore, but when we did, do we think that, oh my gosh, this kid didn't even make the basketball team in high school? No, because all of those things that happened to them, they happened to make them the people that they were as they got older. They had stepping stones of failures. They had stepping stones of obstacles. They had stepping stones that, man, should they not have given up, but they didn't. And that's the most important coping skill that we have. Never give up. I don't care if you go to your bedroom and cry. And I don't care if you throw a fit over something. But I do not expect any of you to give up. Most people don't know on the street, most strangers don't realize that I battle with depression and anxiety. Most people don't see that at 13 I tried to take my own life, or that I was hospitalized because I had a nervous breakdown. Most people don't know that I battled some horrible postpartum depression after my daughter Charlie. Why don't they know any of that? Because I didn't give up. Oh man, did I want to sometimes. I couldn't figure out what the heck was wrong with me. Then I accepted my disease, began to heal. Not that I don't have episodes still, because I do. But here I am. And as you're watching this, here are you. You didn't give up. You made it through yesterday. You made it through 100% of your life so far. 100% of your life. 100% of every single bad day you've ever had, you made it. You didn't give up. And now you need to make the pact that you are not going to give up for the rest of your life. Because by not giving up, you beat this. By not giving up, you show the next person that may need you that you can do it. You can live with this. By not giving up, we start a community. We start people talking. We start other people accepting that we have depression. But we're not going to give up. And we're going to be here for everybody else. Not giving up is one heck of a coping skill. And it's hard. And for a little while, I'm going to go over that. It's going to be a series of things that I want to go over because I want you to know that you've got this. And I want you to know that I've got you. And I want the world to know. My name is Jennifer. I suffer from depression and anxiety. And I'm here to kick its ass. I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I'm going to get off here and I am going to play with my little boog, as I call him, my booger boo. The poor kid got nabbed with the name Booger. Sorry, my grandson. So you go out there and you make a great day. And if you have to go to your bedroom and cry, go right ahead. Just don't give up. Because I want to see you here tomorrow. And don't you ever forget that your story isn't over.